What's up, world? It's your girl, Cheryl La Pearl, back with another video on the Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 10, Episode 5. Everything I say is alleged and strictly my opinion. So if you can get with that, then we're going to go on, keep moving on. So this episode starts off with Ashley. They're sitting around a dinner table, and Ashley is asking Stacy about her relationship with Chris Samuels. This is a continuation from last week when Wendy did all that extra screaming and all that when they said it's a guy who played for the Redskins. We all know him. And, it was easy to figure out that it was Monique's ex-husband. So, Stacy basically, as she does, handled it with grace and was like, we're friends. He's a great father. He's a great friend and blah, blah, blah. And, she never let them see her sweat. She got a response for everything. She right back snappy with it. And I really like that about Stacy, because you got to get ahead of these girls, or once they see a weakness, they gonna go in for the kill. And she just seemed unfazed. And what's so crazy about it, most of the stuff I'm gonna talk about today is gonna center around Angel. Angel girl. I gotta say what I gotta say, but it's no hard feelings. But I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say, you know. So Angel kind of interjects and lets them know that she knows Chris Samuels, that when her husband was either going through college or whatever, that Chris was like a mentor or um a big brother. So she also leaves it as that's about the extent of it, which was kind of like, girl, what you trying to say? Like, I know him, but I don't really fool with him. I don't know. I don't know, Angel. And you're going to be mad if this video ever finds its way to you. Because I'm going to say what I'm going to say. Because I got something to say. And God damn it, I'm going to say it, regardless. And in the end, I don't want no hard feelings. So they move on to the next scene, which is a little celebration for Wendy's birthday. And the key thing noticed in this scene is that Kiana ain't feeling it. She don't got time for the celebration. She going back to her room. She tired. It's been a day. So she don't take part in the celebration at all. She dismisses herself and lets everybody know she's tired. But Kay, I don't know, honey, because when it's time to show up in front of the cameras for a scene, you need to be there. That's my opinion. You need to show up and you need to perform for the audience. Me, I'm audience, and millions of other people. So, getting back to the party, they got a little cake. It looks like they really just got like some champagne and some desserts, like a cake and pineapples and cookies or whatever. It's a nice gesture from Giselle because we know where Giselle and Wendy came from. We know how their reputation and how their interactions were in the very beginning. So, of course, it's always a game with some questions. It just always is. So Ashley starts it off and asks Wendy, has she ever been attracted to a woman? Of course, Wendy picked me. She like, yes, it was at the strip club and she was fine as hell and she had braces. I don't know why I was attracted to her or whatever. Girl, I believe. And this is my opinion. If it finds its way to you, I believe you attracted to Giselle. And I'm a hit back why I think that much later on. But girl, you do too much. And then the next question goes, it's from Ashley to Jazzy. And it was a shady one. Baby Giselle gonna come with her stuff. She like, are you in the guy? Basically, do you feel like he's not cheating? Y'all on one accord, something to that effect. I'm paraphrasing. But she was like, yes, everything's good. Do you mean cheating? Everything is good. Yes. Has there been indiscretions in the past? Yes, but yeah, we're good. Blah blah blah. And that was meant to be shady. But when Ashley, excuse me, went to her confessional, she made it like Jazzy is the Lulu, like you know something. Girl, if you know something, put it on the floor. Because if you ain't putting it on the floor about what's going on, then we don't care to hear it. If you know something, if you know who he's still trying to holler at, or maybe it's you or this, that, and the other, then say it. Other than that, there's no need to go to your confessional. Because I'm sure they're going to have her come out as a friend at the reunion, and you probably going to have to speak to that because I want to know. Everybody talking about everybody else, man, but when the shoe was on the other foot and everybody was talking about yo old white husband who seems to some kind of way like men, women, black, all type of stuff. I don't know. Allegedly, okay. So we know she lawyered up because Ashley been wearing diamond chains, designer bags, all type of stuff, Gucci sweaters, and we've been seeing her on the screen for 10 years. She didn't seem like she was into that name brand stuff. Her wardrobe looked very rainbowish. And now all of a sudden she coming to the scene like with bags and all. So girl, more power. But let's get back to this thing. I'm going off course. So the next question is from Wendy, and she asks Angel, if it was somebody here that you could kill, who would it be? She says Giselle. And she is still pissed about the catfish comment about the Instagram. And I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry. And this is where, if it finds its way to you, where you might gonna be mad. If Giselle wouldn't have brought that up, do you not think that the audience, the public, because anytime we get a new housewife, that's the first thing we do is go to their page, look at their family, their kids, this, that, and the other. And this is where I'm confused is, do the truth hurt more than a lie? Because I'm starting to think it is. And that's just, I'm speaking from my own life. Start telling the truth on people. When we gonna tell it? And it'll cut them more than a lie. And if you feel like you that girl, I would have been like, girl, that is me. Did the pose, whatever you'd have seen, the chiseling and everything. You ain't do none of that. You just kind of sunk. But what I will say is that you seem more jovial in the absence of Kay. You know what I'm saying? So it seemed like a little bit of overlay for the underplay because you wind up slapping fast. You didn't change seats with Giselle. You didn't came to the dark side. Everything seemed so good. I mean, it really was. I was like, that's it, girl. Come on and get your I don't even know what they hold. A peach flute, bell. I don't know. But go on and get that if you want to be here. So the next day, this is the part that threw me, Angel. It threw me. It threw me. They show you meeting, y'all got your little swimsuits on in the guest house or whatever with Kiana. And you talking about you was very disappointed in Giselle. Insane. Here comes Giselle. Like somebody, like the producers called her and was like, girl, get in here. And Kiana lets her know that they was just talking about you and not in a good way. So it goes on where Kiana gets up and she lets Angel and Giselle talk. And I was just so surprised. I really was. My heart went out for her. I felt bad for her. But I get it. I get it. I get it. In your confessionals, you make it seem like, don't worry about your looks, this, that, your husband liking this and that. But when you show up in front of them, it's just like you broken, and you so mad about the catfish thing. So to me, it may feel like, to me, that you think that don't look like you. Because why are you so upset? Okay. And I don't think it was done in mean spiritedness. I think it was meant to be shady. And you were supposed to flip it. And when that didn't happen, now we hear what you boo hooing to Giselle. And Giselle apologizes. And I do feel like it's heartfelt because Giselle don't apologize. She's this stone face, stone, whatever. And then when you go back to your old pictures and that hourglass and everything is popping, and you was like, I was a host, and my how I look was my currency. It might be something that you feeling or was always feeling deeply, and Giselle bought it out. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, ain't nothing wrong with a filter or two, three, 17. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But it is a difference. It is a difference in the appearance. And like you said, if you want to stand on my husband like it, and where's your husband? At least I got a husband, then stand on that. It can't be both. I can't be mad at them saying this don't look like me, and then I'm so confident in my man, like it snap snap. It just can't be both, because it's coming off as really confusing. And like I said, what hurt worse, the truth or a lie? You know what I'm saying? And what I didn't like is that when you called your husband upset about it, that he then took a dig at Giselle. She's 60 and this and that. And that's the point. She's 60 and that girl is giving. You 38, 48, 58, so over 20 years younger. So, I mean, whenever you get her age, then I guess it could be an evaluation then. And I just think I hate when women bring their men into stuff, but I know a man is a protector, you know, but you know what you signed up for, honey. You know what the public, what the media is. I mean, that's just what it is. People are going to judge you. If you don't want to be judged, do not come in front of a camera, because people sit with their face all in the TV ready to judge everything. So anyway, Giselle tries to give her a hug. She don't want it. She's still upset. And I'm just like, man, I hate that for you. And it just seemed like whenever you do get around Kiana, that the temperament changes. And I know that's your friend, but baby, if you gonna come on here, you gotta maintain your spot on your own, just like she do. And I'ma say, I don't want to agree with Wendy, but it don't seem like it's looking good. What we're on here talking about is what we see. So anyway, Giselle go out. They in some little cabana or whatever. And she lets the girls know that she was crying and she was upset. Ashley takes Kay off to the side to talk to her. Go on and do it, baby. Jizzy, go on and do it. Again, I keep talking about them puppet strings and about the lead anchors that's getting the other girls to do the work. And she basically lets her know that Wendy felt the way about her not coming to the party. And I don't think Wendy cared, to be honest. Wendy don't like her and she don't like Wendy. Let's just call a thing a thing. You know what I'm saying? We're going to start acknowledging when we on fool with people and then stay away from them. But I would have been in the scene. I don't give a damn if I would have just slunk a piece of cake across the room. But, if you can't handle it, you can't handle it. But everything is under a microscope and we watching. And I'm sure the producers is watching and everything. We want good scenes. We want interactive scenes. We want problem resolution. If you don't have that, then maybe it ain't the show for you. Or if you always feel like you about to get crunk with it, then and you gotta remove yourself, then maybe it's not the show. But Love and Hip Hop and Zeus, I think they are advocates of that. So I don't think, I mean, she pretty much tells Ashley, like, oh, I'm glad because Wendy, now she has a post, this, that, and the other, just something to say. And then in comes Angel after she didn't gather herself and um got herself together from the session with Giselle, and she basically, I got ahead of myself, but this is where she tells that her husband was ready to catch a private jet. To do what? To come get you? Because I know he wasn't about to get up in no women face. We don't do that. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. I ain't liking it. And I think you should step away. If this ain't for you, honey, you should step away, because the confidence just don't seem like it's there. And Giselle got confidence. Giselle had confidence ever since she walked on this bad boy. And if she 55, I mean, she walked on this bad boy about 44, 45 years old. So older than you was, walked on here and was like, I'm all this. Even with Pastor Holy Whore reputation, she still was holding that head lie. Whether it was an act, a game, or whatever, I mean, hey, it was working for me. So moving on. The ladies do a little trip to uh some little museum or whatever that Ashley, I guess her sons know about this location, and they're into music, and they were just very happy that she was there, and they wanted to see pictures. I mean, snooze fest. I'm moving on. We gonna just go on and flash all the way to the very end, because that's where everything is at. Oh, let me go back. Another thing, they wind up going to like the little markets, flea markets, I don't know, gift shops. And Angel let it be known that her husband sent her $5,000, just to get some art and this, that, and the other. And of course, Wendy, Miss Happy Eddie lady, she all like the shirts is 12.95. Girl, shut up. You coming off as a hater. No nobody so what? But what I will say is that, girl, we don't really disclose what our husband do to us. It's coming off as like hat posting. And that to me again speaks to insecurity. I got this, my husband like it, this, that, and the other. But then you upset. It's just a boil of confusion with you. But Wendy, it wasn't for you to be like, what is he sending you? Is he still getting the marble up to the ceiling for the fireplace, girl? Nah. Won't you worry about that? I hate let me put in. Oh, I'm so glad it ain't me this time, asshole. I hate a hoe like that. But anywho, um, in relation to the catfishing, they asked Tia about it, and she's like, "Well, I did say it kind of don't look like her, but I wouldn't have said it in this setting. I would have pulled her to the side. What do you pull a person to the side and say? Do you pull them off camera and be like, girl, who this? Who this right here? It's just like I said, if it had not been, I swear to God, the viewers would have said something, because people just sit at home and analyze, rewind back, and that's just how it is with reality TV. And maybe you just weren't ready for it. I don't know. But anyway, moving on, we get to the last scene, and they're all at dinner. Wendy comes up with some type of flu or bug that she had prior to coming, and she thinks it was within her house, maybe her kids or something, which makes sense. The kids carry the big bugs. But they get to dinner, and they're talking about they address Kay again about not coming to Wendy's little celebration. And Kay lets it be known that she wasn't really feeling it, and she had a problem with her other friend, Jazzy. So she just wanted to dismiss herself. And when it boils down to what's going on with her and Jazzy, um, it just seems like it's something we missing. I don't know if it's just not on the screen or haven't been revealed, but it do feel like it's something that we're not privy to, because it kind of makes no sense. And then it's this little tit back and forth. Like Jazzy really is trying to come as a wife to get that marker. And I'm telling you, if she do good at the reunion and she becomes a viewer favorite, it possibly could happen, because all these shows, most of the ladies ain't a housewife. So wouldn't you want that? You know what I'm saying? So anywho, um they go back and forth, and Jazzy basically tells her, "Do you want me to tell you what was said?" And then in the confessional, she was like, Jazzy, in the Jazzy's confessional, she basically says that the big thing is that um Kiana told her don't trust Wendy. And I don't think that big of a thing to me, you know. I mean, it's a warning, but unless you're gonna expound on it, we don't know what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? I say don't trust none of the hoes, if you ask me. But you gotta do what you gotta do to make it. But that's all I got, and It's getting too long. And tell me what you think. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you next week with episode 6. And no Monique. Here they go. They got us again. All right. Bye.